Happy hello, everyone. You know, one of the problems with pursuing happiness is there's not always a clear path to follow. I mean, it's not like there's a magical formula to find happiness. Or is there?
My name is Ryan Wingfield, and my job is to make people happy. After years of doing stand-up comedy, I've devoted an entire year to the study of happiness. Join me each week right here on a Road Comics Road to Happiness.
We don't always like to think of happiness as a number that can be measured, but if we want to approach it from a scientific point of view, we kind of have to do that. In that spirit, researchers in London have calculated a formula which they say can accurately predict your happiness. Here it is. Yeah. Here's an interesting fact about me. I minored in math in college, and I have no idea what that means. Fortunately, the researchers explain it. Happiness depends on safe choices, certain rewards, CR, expectations associated with risky choices, expected value, EV, and whether the outcome of risky choices were better or worse than expected. The final variable is called a reward prediction error, RPE, the difference between the experienced outcome and the expectations. Still not clear? Well, I don't blame you. Perhaps a simpler version can be thought of as happiness equals reality divided by expectations. Basically, our happiness spikes when we win and our expectations are low, but that happiness will gradually fade over time. Basically, happiness isn't so much about winning as exceeding expectations. For example, if I told you that your plane was going to be delayed an hour, you would probably be pretty pissed. However, if I told you there is a good chance that your plane will be delayed 6 hours, and then you find out later that it will only be delayed 1 hour, you won't be as upset, although probably still not that happy. In case you're wondering how the researchers came up with that formula, it came from monitoring the brains of people playing gambling machines. That formula was then tested on 18,000 people over a phone app and was able to accurately predict how happy those people would be with each win or loss. As you might guess, this kind of information can be used to make gambling games more addictive, but at least you'll be happy as you lose all your money. The gambling analogy can help explain how this formula can be used elsewhere. Just as a casino where you always win would be no fun, happy experiences aren't as happy when they are expected. Perhaps this is why some people like to say expect the worst and you'll never be disappointed. Personally, I don't know anyone who says that, but perhaps that's just because I don't like to surround myself with pessimists. Ultimately, the researchers behind this formula believe that short-term happiness isn't so much about attaining goals as it is exceeding expectations. Does that mean that you should expect the worst? Well, that doesn't sound like a very happy life, does it? Before you take that plunge into the emo culture, remember that this only applies to short-term happiness and is not necessarily the best way for a happy life. Even the researchers behind the formula point out that positive expectations about future events, especially major life events such as marriage or a new job, can increase happiness in the long term. Whoa. Let's take a look at how you might be able to apply this formula to your real life. Say you're excited about the Transformers movie that's coming out next summer. That means you can spend all year looking forward to the movie, wondering about which of your childhood action figures will make it to the big screen, what the special effects will look like, and who the new Megan Fox will be. That's all great, but remember, on your way to the theater, stop and remember, this is a Michael Bay movie. That means that you shouldn't expect the characters to have 3 dimensions, you shouldn't expect realistic dialogue, you shouldn't even expect the movie to not be sexist or racist. Ultimately, this is just a movie about giant alien robots who transform into cars and planes and fight each other. That's it. Anything you get that is more than that should just be a happy surprise. So there you have it. Hope for the best, but keep your expectations in check, especially when it comes to the fall election. That's all for this edition of A Road Comics Road to Happiness. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave any happy comments below. Next week, would you take a happy pill if I offered it to you? That pill may already exist. Until then, stay happy.